sinabi ni Secretary Lazaro, tama yun. Kasi maiipit tayo, di natin malaman kung anong gagawin. Okay, sinabi ni Secretary Lazaro, operational. O eto na, operational. Are we compelled under the NDT and the EDCA to allow the US to use the EDCA sites as forward operating bases or staging launching points for military intervention in Taiwan? Kasi there are allies under the NDT. Andyan na yung EDCA. Tumutulong sila sa atin. We have clearly a very clear defense treaty, di ba? An agreement of the EDCA. At nandyan na yung mga EDCA sites. Alam niyo, nagtatanong ako nito, hindi para pahirapan yung buhay natin, kundi naaalala ko po yung ama ko. Noong kasagsagan ng Vietnam War, malaking gulo yan sa Pilipinas dahil may Clark at Subic at gusto nilang gawin launching pad yung Pilipinas para bombahin yung Vietnam. Ayaw pumayag ng ama ko. Medyo roundabout ang nangyari. Refueling and refitting lamang ang hinayaan sa Clark at Subic. Pero no direct flights daw. Ito yung kasunduan. Ngayon, ganyan rin ang mangyayari ngayon. Dahil meron na tayong EDCA sites, hindi nga tinatawag na military bases, halos ganun na rin. So, anong mangyayari kapag ganyan?
Madam Chair, again,
I know that we really need someone from the Defense Department at this juncture. But since they failed to appear, I urge you to answer as best we can.
thank you, Madam Chair, to the best that I can. And I can say that EDCA was never contemplated as a forward operating base. It is actually an HADR.
Can you decode your alphabet, Sue?
Humanitarian assistance.
Humanitarian assistance and disaster relief or resilience site. It's always been HADR. In fact, the last discussion I had...
Ganon din ang nangyari nung Vietnam days eh.
Okay.
Ang nangyari doon, kung maalala ninyo, si General Tobias led the PhilCAG.
Uh-huh.
Yung PhilCAG, kasi sabi, may commitment daw ang Pilipinas magpadala ng sundalo. Eh, sabi ng ama ko, oo, papadala kami ng sundalo, kaya lang engineer, gagawin kami ng tulay, magpapadala kami ng medics,
Yeah.
sundalo din yun. Pero hindi lalaban, di hahawak, hindi magdadala ng baril. So, ang intindi natin, ang EDCA can only be used in the event of disaster relief, human assistance, ano pa yung isa? Sorry.
Disaster relief.
Yeah, humanitarian
Humanitarian
assistance. Ano
HA
sabi ninyo?
HADR, Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Relief.
Disaster relief.
Yes.
So, kapag walang disaster, like halimbawa ngayon, di ba, may Typhoon Kajiki ang Vietnam,
Mhm.
pwedeng gamitin yung EDCA. Nagtatanong ako, wala naman daw pinadala mula sa EDCA para tulungan ng Vietnam. May 20 ng patay. Hindi, tanong lang.
Well, another point to again,
Ilan rin yung patay nung nakaraang mga bagyo?
marami na po. Pero
Emong ilan. Wala naman tumulong galing EDCA.
kasi I think ang operational word na naman ho dito is that it should be the decision to use whatever aspects of EDCA should be mutually agreed also by the two governments.
So, so far, no humanitarian assistance and disaster relief has been undertaken by any of the EDCA sites. I imagine, kasi wala namang balita eh.
Actually, Madam Chair, I can only recall my discussion with Secretary Rex Gatchalian of the SWD. He said that he will, I don't know kung anong typhoon po iyon, pero sinasabi niya na I will pack up those sites para pagdating sa, I think he was thinking about north, way up in the north. I think
Wala pa eh, wala pa.
Matagal na pong typhoon to.
Yung pinesto lang nila doon, yung typhoon missiles. Wala namang humanitarian, walang gamot, walang pagkain.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I think
Senator Tulfo.
the Department of Foreign Affairs is not capable of answering all these questions.
That's
because
right. No,
These are the questions for the Department of Defense.
I
said-
agree, but
May I manifest or may I suggest, Madam Chair, that we invite in the next meeting the Department of Defense officials and the armed forces, because I believe they are the proper authorities to answer our questions here. Otherwise, If they don't want, then we can send a subpoena to these officials. I'm sorry, Madam Chair, but I think, I mean, you said they were invited, they didn't come. I don't know, but they must have very good reasons. Otherwise, kung hindi pa rin po sila darating, then we have to, I believe, subpoena them, Madam Chair, because it's that we deserve to know how can we proceed. The secretary is having a hard time trying to answer these questions when it is not in her territory. It's only the Defense Department and the Armed Forces of the Philippines can answer all these questions, Madam Chair, na ito bang EDCA buhay na? May mga tao na ba dyan? Bakit hindi pa nakatulong sa relief, humanitarian efforts? So I guess, Madam Chair, may I suggest that we subpoena the officials of the Department of Defense and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I highly agree with this more aggressive stance. They cannot keep snubbing the Senate hearings. It's unacceptable. So I will act on that immediately. Senator Padilla, please.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Meron lang po akong itatanong uli. Opo, madalas na po ang exercises ng China sa paligid ng Taiwan. At ganun din po ang Taiwan, sila din po ay may mga military exercises na rin ng defense. Meron na po ba tayong pag-uusap sa China na halimbawa magkaroon sila ng singalot? Meron po bang usapan na kayo kung paano natin ilalabas yung ating mga Pilipino po sa Taiwan? Meron na po bang diplomatic kayong pag-usapan na kasi wala pong umaamin naman. Ang China hindi umaamin na sila ay aatake. Ganun din naman po ang Taiwan. Sila ay panay-panay ng exercises. Katunayan, parang kailan lang meron silang exercises. Nakasama pa yung mga bata. So, meron na po ba tayong plano na kausapin ng China, halimbawa?
Your Honor, Senator Padilla, actually, yan po yung suggestion ni Madam Chair na kailangan na namin kausapin. Mga usapan ho kasi namin with China are the South China Sea issues, consular consultations. Pero now, I think it's about time to also come up with these discussions. Aminin ko po, kailangan nung namin siguro umpisahan.
Opo, kasi siguro 2022 po yun, 2023 nang nagkaroon po kami ng diskusyon ng ating kalihim din ng Secretary of National Defense po. Dito din po 'yon sa Senado na sinasabi ko po na madadamay tayo diyan sa Taiwan. At sila naman po ay nagsasabi na hindi. Pero ito na po. Nagsabi na po ang ating Pangulo na madadamay tayo. Opo. Siguro po kailangan na po natin magkaroon din ng exercises kung paano natin ilalabas yung ating mga Pilipino doon sa Taiwan kasi madami po yun, mahal na kalihim.
Madam Chair, gusto ko rin po sagutin na sa totoo lang, sabi ko nga sa inyo, marami kami mekanismo. One of them is the Foreign Ministry consultations. So pwede namin gamitin to because again, kung sa tamang panahon tayo mag-usap on the contingency plan, sa totoo lang, meron ng repatriation na mangyayari, hindi lang sa Taiwan, pati doon sa certain part, mga Pilipino din natin na nandun sa China. So, these are all in our discussions. Okay. Alam po yan ng DMW at saka ng MECO.
Opo, makakausap po ba natin ng mga Taiwanese na mag-commit din na sila'y tumulong po sa
MECO po makakasalit.
Opo, pwede po ba yun na makapag-commit sila sa atin na tutulong po sila na
as yung katulad po na sinabi ko kanina, under the contingency plan that we have, nakakuha na po kami ng commitment from the Taiwanese officials na kausap po natin doon na tutulungan tayo in case magkaroon po talaga ng kaguluhan doon. In fact, doon po sa
Anong
mga
klaseng tulong?
Opo, di ba po
Sir,
dapat may exercise?
Pinabomba na sila, uunahin nila yung
Sir,
sarili nila, no?
under their contingency plan din po kasi meron po silang mga shelters sa Taiwan. So 80,000 po ang alam ko na shelters nila doon. 89,000.
Opo. Bali hindi po natin ilalabas yung ating mga
Well, yun
kababayan?
po ang first kasi na response. Just in case magkaroon po na invasion, syempre hindi naman po natin agad-agad mailalabas ng lahat. So they will have to take shelter at meron po nang na-pinpoint. Marami all over Taiwan po, mayroon po silang 89,000 na shelters that can accommodate 40 million people. Ano naman po, 23 million lang naman po ang Taiwanese and then the rest po ay mga foreign workers na. So, enough po yung shelters na yon para ma-accommodate po lahat ng nasa Taiwan.
Matanong ko lang, Madam Chair.
Yes,
Makasingit lang. Madam Chair, may I just ask Attorney Garafil. Ma'am, meron po ba tayong communication in cases situation like this arises, emergency, na pwede bang tawagan isa-isa ang mga OFWs natin doon, or they can contact the nearest embassy, or not embassy, I'm sorry, the MECO or the OWA, the DMW, or to cascade information na may emergency, may ganito, we have to move here para mag-ipon-ipon sila para isahan lang at alam ng gobyerno kung saan sila pupuntahan, how they will be evacuated. Do we have that kind of a plan?
Yung DMW po, bago umalis ang mga OFWs natin papuntang Taiwan, kasama po yan sa kanilang training or kanilang orientation. Like in case kung mayroong emergency, alam po nila kung saan sila pupunta, sinong kukontakin po nila. So, before their departure sa Pilipinas and upon their arrival sa Taiwan, nagkakaroon po sila ng regular orientation on those things.
Yeah, but the question here is, Madam Chair, yung line of communication, hindi lang, syempre pag invasion po, ang mangyayari po dyan, shutdown na po yung communications, mga TV stations, radio stations po. So, paano makakascade ang information sa OFW natin? Paano kung nandoon po siya sa medyo remote part of Taiwan na pumunta siya sa ganitong lugar, kung wala na pong means of communication dahil nabomba na marahil yung mga cell sites, so there's no more way of communicating them. How will they know that they need to be evacuated ASAP, and where will they go? Yan po ang problem natin sa past experiences sa Israel, sa Gaza. Yan ang experience natin sa Iraq, sa Kuwait. Those are our past experience. Nagpapanik because walang communication na, dahil unang-una, unang bubombahin ay yung mga communications para ng tower, para hindi na makapag-communicate ang gobyerno kung sino man yan dyan, yung kanilang mga tauhan para makagawa po silang depensa. Yan po ang unang tatargetin ng isang lumulusob na sundalo o militar. Madam Chair.
yes, tama po yun. So, did the Secretary Lazaro want to add anything, please? Kasi I saw you raising
Yes.
your hand.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kasi sabi lang po kasi ni Sec. Chaloy about the workers. Pero importante rin po yun that the employers, alam po ng DMW, they have a responsibility to their workers, including repatriation and taking care of them if such a situation arises. So,
Yes, I wanted to clarify lamang na lahat iniisip natin para sa ating mga OFW, although the problem is much larger than just the OFWs, kasi aabot sa Pilipinas apakalapit. So hindi kumbaga safe ang teritoryo ng Pilipinas, maliban pa sa OFW. At kahit wala rito yung defense, gusto ko lang liwanagin kasi at the end of the day, these are two treaties, yung EDCA natin at saka itong MDT at yung One China Joint Communique. Lahat yan, DFA pa rin. Kaya nais ko sana humingi sa inyo ng anumang paliwanag, if you could give us some kind of written explanation and perhaps attempt to answer in some way or other, at least legally and theoretically, how exactly we are supposed to operate in the event of a Taiwan attack. Given that we are caught in between with the MDT and One China policy, and really have no reference for this situation. Wala namang iba sa ASEAN na may MDT. nag-iisa tayo. Speaking of nag-iisa, yung isa pang problema natin, ang ASEAN, halos hindi kakampi natin. Kung tutuusin, ang Myanmar in full support ng China claim of sovereignty over Taiwan. Tutulong pa raw sila ayon sa kanilang shadow government. Cambodia, talagang active na linalabanan ang Taiwanese independence. Pakialam na, pero wala silang pake. Talagang sinasabi nila ng tahasan. Ang Vietnam, talagang sinasabi, Taiwan, inalienable part of Chinese territory. Kahit may laban din sila, may claim din sila sa West Philippine Sea, sa South China Sea. Nag-uupakan rin sila dyan, pero napakatindi ng kanilang salita. Malaysia, ganun din. At Indonesia, dahil ang kanilang ekonomiya very dependent on China. Closest, biggest trading partner. At Thailand, mas matindi yung Thailand. Umabot na sila ng comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership. May Thailand-China community with a shared future. Pati Singapore, sabi hindi daw sila mananatiling neutral. At bakit daw nagbo-volunteer ang Pilipinas na maging battleground nitong bakbakan ng malalaking nag-uumpugan na kapangyarihan. So eto nga, ang problema, makakatulong ba ang kapitbahay natin? Kung hindi natin kaya, mananawagan tayo sa China, mananawagan tayo sa Taiwan. Tutulungan ba tayo ng ASEAN? Sila pinakamalapit eh. Mukha talagang nung huli nilang meeting, panay pitik sa Pilipinas na kayo lang ang sobrang pro-American at dinamay pa ninyo kaming lahat at narito yung militar. So, ramdam ko na pinipitik tayo nitong mga kapitbahay natin. Kung walang tutulong sa atin, paano kaya ito? Wala tayong matatakbuhan.
Madam Chair, sa mga dami po ng mga ASEAN meetings na ina-attend namin sa Department of Foreign Affairs, wala naman hong ganyan ka sweeping statement. But I have to let's go back to Taiwan.
I'm not making sweeping statements.
No, I
These
mean-
are direct quotes from
Yes.
their foreign and executive departments.
Yes, Madam Chair, but in the ASEAN discussions, pag nakikita-kita kaming 10,
Kasi naman, the ASEAN way.
The ASEAN way.
Oh, ayan naman, naniwala ka naman doon. May gera na nga sa Taiwan, Kampuchea border.
But I have
Pero ASEAN way pa rin.
ASEAN way pa rin. Because that's... Anyway, but Madam Chair, I just have to tell you this, and these are facts. Alam ng DMW yan, na mas marami pang Vietnamese and Indonesians in Taiwan rather
Kaya
than
nga,
the
isa pang aspect yun, magkaisa tayo sa Vietnam, Vietnam at Pilipino, para magkaisa tayo kung paano ilalabas yan. Kasi mas marami nga yung tauhan nila ron eh. Kaso, medyo allergic sila sa atin. Nako, nakakausap ko rin sila eh.
Nag-uusap din naman kami in many aspects.
Natakot sila dahil nandito yung mga Amerikano na nervous sila na lalong na-agitate yung China. Nambubuli na nga, gagalitin mo pa ng todo-todo. Takot din sila eh. Parati lang pinag-uusapan yan eh.
I also wanted to add, Madam Chair, na naman kami, nagpro-progress kami sa mga discussions namin on the Code of Conduct on the South China Sea.
Understood, but by way of IMIS solution, para solusyonan natin to, pwede ba kausapin din natin itong may mga tauhan sa Taiwan? At magkaisa tayo, kung may plano tayo na buko-bukong plano, magpatulong tayo sa lahat, di ba? So we should be very specific. At this juncture, I would like to call an executive session to allow Secretary Lazaro to explain in greater detail with the DMW, the MECO, and the rest, particularly but not solely with regard to the visit now hanging over our heads. So I urge everyone to please leave the room and we shall limit to only
Madam
those
Chair,
here.
before we totally forget, may I manifest that we subpoena the Department of Defense to attend the next hearing so that they can answer questions that hindi po kayang sagutin ng Department of Foreign Affairs, Madam Chair.
Tama. So, okay, the motion stands and it's unopposed, and I will therefore forward it to the Senate President immediately.
Thank you, Madam Chair.